Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the Malthusian theory of population growth. One of the most famous theory was Malthusian theory of population growth. Thomas Robert Malthus, 1766 to 1834. He was an English political economist. He was proposed to bring this theory. He explained his theory in his book Essay on Population in 1798. You can see in this slide, Malthus says that human population tended to grow at much faster rate than the rate at which the means of human subsistence, especially food, shelter, clothing, can grow. Through this slide, you can see that food production and population, how it is growing. Food production and population is growing in such a way that food production is growing 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. Like that, it is an arithmetic progression. At the same time, population is growing 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, etc. That is a geometric progression. Through this progression, the growth of agricultural production will always be overtaken by population growth. Population is growing in this way. Malthus argued that people are condemned to live in poverty because of this type of population growth. So we can see that Malthus argued that population rises in geometric progression, that we already seen that is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, etc. Whereas agricultural production can only grow in arithmetic progression like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. So through this chart you can see that population and production, how it is growing year by year. So in a red color it is highest rate of population, because population growth always be outstrip or destroy the growth in production of substance resources. A result of this growth create overpopulation. So this theory argued that two solutions. One is positive chuck. What is positive chuck? Positive chuck means nature destruction, that is through earthquake like a coronavirus, diseases are spreading, and famine and natural calamities. These are the positive chucks. Through this, people are dying. So like that, the positive chuck through nature. Another is preventive chuck. How to preventive chuck is work in the population? Preventive chuck, this is a human initiative. Human will take an initiative to prevent the population growth. That is, practicing celibacy, practice sexual abstinence, postpone the marriage. Postpone the marriage means marrying at the age of 30 and above. So through that, the population growth can prevent. The only way to increase prosperity is by controlling the growth of population. That Malthus is saying that. But a human being can control population growth only through voluntary methods, using preventive check, postponing marriage, practicing sexual abstinence or celibacy. So nature uses positive checks to control population, that is famine and diseases. Criticism against this theory was proved wrong by what happened in European countries. Many of the European thinkers and social scientists argued that, or criticized that, this theory was wrong, because the thing which is happening in Europe is not only supporting this theory. So Malthus' prediction was proved false. So that is why this theory was wrong in European countries. There, the birth rates had declined and the outbreak of epidemic diseases were being controlled. Malthus' predictions were proved false because both food production and standard of living continued to rise despite the rapid growth of population. The critics argued that problems like poverty and starvation were caused by the unequal distribution of economic resources rather than by population growth. Here, the criticizers argued that problems like poverty and starvation not caused by the population growth, that is unequal distribution of economic resources. That is why many of the thinkers argued that this theory was wrong. The second theory of demographic transition. The demographic transition is the relation between economic development and change in population. So this theory propounded by Warren Thompson, 1887 to 1973. He suggests that population growth is linked to overall level of economic development. Every society follows a typical pattern of development-related population growth. Demographic transition is a relation between economic development and changes in the population. There are three basic phases of population growth. We can see in this chart. So, three stages. First stage, there is a low growth rate, that is underdeveloped and technologically backward countries. Low growth rate is happening. Low growth rate means population growth rate, because underdeveloped country. High birth rate and high death rate, that is a reason low growth rate is happening in the technologically backward and underdeveloped countries. That is the first stage. Second stage is very high growth rate. So that is a developing societies or developing countries. So in the second stage, like India, it's a developing countries. So it is society also developing. There, high birth rate and low death rate. You can see that very high growth rate. High birth rate and low death rate. you can see that high birth rate, death rate is very low. That is, we can see in the second stage. Third stage, you can see that is a developed countries, so developed society like America. So growth rate is very low. Here low birth rate and low death rate is happening. So where the population explosion happening in the second stage, so developing society, there high birth rate and low death rate. So this is the theory of demographic transition is explaining population explosion. Why population explosion? Population explosion because of advanced medical care. So presently we can see that advanced medical colleges and all giving better care, medical care. Another is religious influence or teachings. There is no population control because people are not using population control materials. So that is why population explosion happening. Then giving good nutrition to the children and a better medical care. So that is healthy child, healthy world. So like the slogan, it is showing that a better child. So child are not dying. So these are the reason the population explosion. Population explosion means population is growing.